26 hours on from the announcement of his greatly desired new long-term contract, Rayan Kolli needed just 6 minutes to score the winner against Plymouth Argyle after joining the pitch as a 59th minute substitute. The goal would go on to seal QPR's first win at home park in exactly 22 years, make it 3 league wins on the trot, and see Rangers end the day in the top half of the table for the first time since the 14th of September. And I'll say this purely as an observation, but the playoff spots are actually just 6 points away, in case you were wondering. I'm Connor, aka Hoopsa. I make QPR previews, reactions, interviews, and features, so let's chat through this weekend's brilliant away win. If you like what you see or you hear, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, or leave a rating. As expected, after resting most of the first team last weekend, Cifuentes returned to pretty much the exact same starting 11 that beat Luton at home, with just one change, with Ronnie Edwards getting his first league start in place of Harrison Ashby, in turn allowing Jimmy Dunn to return to right back. With Jonathan Varane picking up an incredibly questionable yellow card in less than 60 seconds and Argyle applying the pressure that new manager Muslic had promised earlier this week, it was a frantic start to the game. But after 10 minutes, Rangers calmed the match down and took control, and if we were a bit more clinical or keeper Grimshaw hadn't had the game of his life, we could quite easily have gone into the break in the lead. Rami Al-Hajj's ambitious attempt to pirouette the ball into the net on 5 minutes was the first real opportunity of the game, but it would end up being their only shot of the half and their only shot on target over the full 90 minutes. That's not to say Plymouth didn't apply any pressure, more so that our backline were absolutely exceptional in dealing with any ball into our box, which actually left Nardi with very little to do after an early blip saw him nearly caught out trying to play the ball from the back. Southampton loanee Ronnie Edwards was the real standout here, not only because he won 100% of his aerial duels throughout the match, but also because we got to see exactly why QPR identified him as a good fit, and that's his build-up play. Ronnie's confidence in carrying the ball out from the back and passing calmly into the midfield is a staple of his game. It's the main reason he won League One Young Player of the Season last year and why Southampton picked him up, and it not only helped us to build up quicker in this first half, but it also eased that early pressure from the home side and allowed us to get on top. In attack, although he was a bit sloppy, Paul Smith was a real problem for Argyle several times throughout the game, and had he been more clinical, he could have got himself a goal or an assist. Our first chance came on 14 minutes when he got the better of left-back Pushaks for the first time, but Samfield could only find the side netting from his ball into the box. A few minutes later, Smith would have a dig of his own, with Dunn's flick on from the wing as long throw initially dealt with, but Varane, Dunn and Morgan built up quickly again to find Smith free once again out on the left. He opted to have a shot that, with plenty of blue and white shirts in the box, should probably have been a cross. QPR continued to attack, this time with Chair's deep cross forcing a scramble from Grimshaw that looked like it had set up Fox to score on the volley, but the home keeper still managed to get something on it to push it out for a corner. One of our best chances of the half would come from that resulting set piece on 27 minutes when Powell's delivery to the far post was nodded back into the mix by Fox, but Edwards' rising header slipped just past of that right-hand post. The game started to really open up towards the end of this first half, and it became pretty end-to-end for the final 5 minutes, but it was still only Rangers that were testing the keeper, with Frey having a golden opportunity to open the scoring on 42 minutes. That started once again with Smith bringing down Fox's diagonal ball and the winger darting inwards, approaching the box through the centre of the pitch. Ironically, this was the one he probably should have hit, but he lingered too much on it, and with defenders closing in on him, he instead slipped Frey through on the right, almost giving him an open goal to shoot into, but Grimshaw pounced once again to deny the Swiss forward. He probably should have buried it, but it was a brilliant stop from the keeper. Frey nearly had a chance again from the resulting corner, but Fields' balling curled just too far away from him at the back post. It was a really impressive QPR half, and definitely the most assertive that we've been away from home. We just had to hope now that Argyle wouldn't capitalise on the lifeline we'd given them, because as was to be expected, they started the second half much like the first, and that end-to-end nature that come into the game as we approach half-time continued. Thankfully, our defence dealt with Hardy's shot on 47 minutes, and Powelson's attempt from the following corner went well wide. Nardi went long from that goal kick, and the Ars were on the attack once again with another chance that really could have and should have been a goal. Dunn got something on the goal kick down the right, and Smith flicked it over to Frey, who set the ball back in behind for the winger. Paul charged into the box but didn't look up for his cutback, so it was easily cleared by Mumba, but Dunn was there to pick it up again and carry it back towards the box. His ball in, which I think may have actually been a shot, deflected fortuitously into the feet of Frey on the penalty spot, but he was a bit ahead of it and Grimshaw once again got his arms wide to deny the striker once again. Was this just going to be one of those games yet again, just like the home leg against 10 men? It could have been, but Rayan Kolli, subbed on for Frey on 59 minutes as Colback replaced the carded Varane, had other ideas. It took him just 3 minutes to have his first shot, which was deflected wide for a corner, and just 6 minutes to get himself on the score sheet with his second. It started when Jimmy Dunn cleared the ball up the pitch to ease Plymouth's pressure, which Mumba dropped back to collect, but his poor touch set Chair completely free to charge in on goal. Chair attempted to slot it into the bottom right, but Grimshaw had it well covered. That was until the parry ball fell back to the Moroccan, who scooped it quickly back to Kolli, who then took a touch and passed it effortlessly into the bottom right corner himself. This guy is an outrageously good finisher. It is such a deceptively simple bit of technique, especially when he had as little time as he did to execute it. And it's that quick thinking that finally got the better of Grimshaw. That's Kolli's 5th goal in all competitions, bringing his total to 5 goals and 3 assists in just 592 minutes, which works out as a goal involvement every 74 minutes. The most insane thing is during his limited league minutes, he's actually only had 6 shots on target, and he's scored from 4 of them. And the best part about it all is that for a change, I don't have to publicly beg for QPR to sort his contract out. He's extended, he's one of our own, and the kid is the real deal. Plymouth battled hard to get back into the game from here, with Callum Wright shooting over the crossbar just 3 minutes after Kolli had broken the deadlock, but Rangers soaked up that pressure, and the later changes of Saito for Smith, Ashby for Morgan and Lloyd for Chair all helped to further relieve it. The most nervy moment came when Whittaker was slipped in on the right after some patient build-up play from the home side. The number 10 scooped in a dangerous cross to the back post, but Dunn produced an immense clearance just in front of the line to deny an almost certain equaliser. Rangers would still have more chances to double the lead though, with Kolli's shot from outside the box missing far to the left on the 86th minute, but an absolutely blinding opportunity would then fall to Sam Field when he pounced on the ball from some chaotic Lloyd hold-up play on 91 minutes. Sam took his time to set up his shot and try and place the ball into the bottom left from the edge of the box, but he wrapped it the wrong side of the post. Thankfully, Rangers saw out the remaining minutes of added time by the corner flags, and QPR's 3rd away win of the season was confirmed. I thought this was a really good away performance, probably our best since Watford, and based on actually coming away with the win, probably our best of the season. It's rare that I say this, but on another day we would have won this 4-0. A lot of people have said we were wasteful and we were sloppy, but you have to look at the context of this one. Argyle have a new manager, they were 4 unbeaten until this result, and Grimshaw absolutely played out of his skin. All that matters ultimately is that we got the win, but this wasn't a smash and grab performance. There was so much to like about how we played here. I have to give a special shout out to Morgan Fox, who has been exceptional in this team after that painful Boxing Day performance. In the absence of Cook, he has really stepped into his role as the experienced player of this backline, and he's not only been very solid defensively, but his choices to get the ball long when we really need it help us to mix up our build-up play and keep us out of danger. I said before this one that I wanted to see us play more like we play at home, and this is exactly what that was for me. It might have been a bit nervier in the second half, but we were really dominant in terms of the chances, and Argyle barely had a sniff at goal. Regardless of what you think about the performance, whatever happened in that November international break needs to be studied, because that's now just 1 loss in our past 12. In fact, only Leeds United have picked up as many points as QPR in the last 10, and they only edge ahead of us in the form table on goal difference. Who knows where we go from here, but I know I'm not the only person who's noticed that only 3 of the 11 teams above us didn't drop points on Saturday. Keep it up, Rangers. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much for watching and listening. That's all from me. As usual, do let me know what you thought about this performance in the comments below, and I'll hopefully catch you next time for my Hull City preview. Cheers.